Welcome to NetHoncho. NetHoncho is an IP address management system that automatically conducts diagnostics on all the IP devices throughout all of the networks belonging to an ISP. This webcast will walk through adding a new access point to a tower. This tower belongs to a network operated by a wireless ISP named Intergalactic Wireless. Here is Intergalactic Wireless's network topology. Intergalactic Wireless has a POP that connects its networks to the upstream internet. This POP is located at its data center. Intergalactic Wireless has several towers connected to its data center via line-of-sight backhauls. Each tower's service area has their own distinct network. New Harmony's tower already has multiple access points. A few hours ago, the crew added yet another access point to the New Harmony tower. This one is orientated to the northwest. This new access point has been installed, powered up, and has had its IP address configured. Now, the Network Operations Control Center, the NOC, needs to add this access point to the NetHoncho system so it can be automatically monitored and managed. This is the NetHoncho dashboard. From here, we can see all of Intergalactic Wireless's networks. NetHoncho automatically pings all IP addresses across all of the ISP's networks and stores up to 1 year of ping latency and packet loss data. NetHoncho automatically verifies that every IP address that responds to a ping also has equipment assigned to it in the database. Rogue addresses are IP addresses that both return pings and yet have no corresponding equipment in the database. Rogue addresses indicate some kind of configuration management error. Notice that NetHoncho is reporting one rogue address on the New Harmony network. Rogue addresses means that there's some undocumented item of equipment. Now in this case, installing the access point created this rogue address. Resolving this rogue address only requires entering the access point's details into NetHoncho. Let's drill down into the New Harmony network. These are all of the IP addresses on the New Harmony network. Users can assign equipment to the various IP addresses. NetHoncho intelligently understands network concepts and automatically blocks a user from assigning equipment to IP addresses that have a reserved purpose. Specifically, NetHoncho blocks a user from assigning equipment to either the network address or the broadcast address. The new access point's IP address is 1.2.9.12. We can tell that NetHoncho has no record of any equipment at this IP address because the equipment's name field is empty. NetHoncho gives a green background to IP addresses that return pings and a red background to IP addresses that fail to return pings. The green background indicates that something at this IP address is returning a ping. Now we drill down into this IP address. Note that the latency chart shows that this IP address suddenly began returning pings a couple hours ago. This occurred when the crew turned up this access point. NetHoncho's IP address management scheme prevents multiple items of equipment from being inadvertently assigned to the same address. In this case, we know that no equipment is assigned to this IP address because the equipment name field is empty, which is how it should be at this time. First, we must assign the equipment's name and then click the Save button. After the equipment has been named, then the various other equipment fields appear. In this case, the customer field can remain blank because access points aren't customer premises equipment. The Notes field provides a handy place to save useful information for a given item of equipment. It so happens that this access point's carrier frequency is 5800 megahertz, so that would be useful information to have from a spectrum management point of view. NetHoncho automatically queries all SNMP equipment in the network on a 5-minute interval. We must specify some of the device's SNMP details so that NetHoncho can successfully conduct this query. Specifically, NetHoncho needs to know whether to use SNMP protocol version 1 or version 2, and the device's SNMP community string. Now, NetHoncho has all the information necessary to conduct SNMP polling of this access point. But there's one final step necessary before this access point can respond to an SNMP query. Because equipment is generally shipped from the factory with its SNMP features disabled, we need to enable SNMP on the access point itself. Network equipment is typically managed via a web browser. NetHoncho makes this convenient by providing a links button. This is the button that looks like an eyeball, which opens the default browser and automatically points it at the device. First, we need to log into the access point. On this device, the SNMP configuration is located behind the Services tab. And now we need to enable the device to respond to SNMP. We specify the community string, DOM, so as to match the community string NetHoncho is configured to use. Also, because NetHoncho will present SNMP contact and location data on the device's page, we will set this information too. We enter security guard's phone number, and the tower is located at 866 Amberwood Road. All right, now save the changes and close the browser on this device. Now we can see the first data reading captured from the access point. At this time, the chart shows minimal data throughput because there's no subscriber modules using the access point yet. Now NetHoncho will automatically begin storing up to 1 year of SNMP data obtained from this device. Because NetHoncho only polls in a 5-minute interval, we'll jump ahead in time. We just jumped ahead in time by 1 hour, and now you can better see the trends. In the next episode, we will add a subscribers module to this access point. This concludes this episode of the NetHoncho webcast.